Second episode.
Yeah, buddy.
This is a thing now.
Every week.
We're doing it. This is like a second date. When's the last time you had one of those, Brandon?
Or a first date, for that matter.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's right. They have to swipe right back on you, which doesn't happen for you because you're you.
Ah, that would explain what's going wrong with Tinder. I thought their app was broken. Jeez.
You keep contacting support, and they're like, no, man, we just don't want you on there.
That's the most correspondence I've had on that stupid thing.
So, welcome to The Valley Boys. I am your host, Dave Weasel. Let's get this shit over with. Join with me is my sidekick, Brandon Collins.
Oh, wait, sidekick now?
Yeah, you've been promoted.
Holy shit.
Yeah, last week you were assistant. You weren't a total piece of shit this week, so now, congratulations, buddy. You've made it to my sidekick.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you.
That's me sarcastically clapping for you.
Aw, what a dick. So what's above sidekick?
Well, nothing. That would be equal, which you'll never be. But maybe I can carve out a position for you.
Yeah, I'd like to carve out her position.
See, I can't get too mad at you for doing a that's what she said, whatever the fuck dumb branded joke that you have, because I lasted, 1 minute before talking about cats in the first episode. So you're kind of forgiven on that. But you got to lay off those dumb ass fucking jokes. That's what she said. That's what the Buffalo Wild Wings bartender said. Remember that? He said, no more Brandon jokes.
Yeah, he said it by proxy because I told it to the other bartender. The bartender started to tell it to that other guy. He's like, I don't want to hear any more Brandon jokes.
Yeah, you found somebody who thought it was funny, but he did say that. He was like, I don't want to hear any more Brandon jokes.
Yeah, I'm second generation asshole. That was impressive.
You know what? That's why you're not getting any second dates. You are sacrificing sex for your dumb fucking jokes.
Yeah, but those jokes are awesome.
So it's worth it to you? Is that what it is?
The glory.
You're walking around with this verbal chastity belt, and you're okay with that?
Well, I mean, I jack off every night, but...
Brandon,
What?
don't put that in here.
That's not what she said.
Oh, fuck!
Dave! Brandon! Dave! Brandon, damn it! I didn't say you said that, Dave.
I didn't say you said I said that, Brandon.
Libtard!
Conservative!
That's it, I'm doing it!
Don't you dare fart in my microphone!
The Valley Boys.
So me and Brandon had a pretty eventful week.
I would say that's about an accurate statement.
Wednesday, we went to the LA Kings game, which was fucking awesome. I always love going to see them.
Yeah, and I love going to the Kings, too, because I get to watch Dave watch his team lose.
Hey, fuck you. You were wearing the jersey, bitch.
I was wearing the jersey in the same way I would wear a suit to a funeral to support the bereaved.
Well, you're a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. You got in at the time that they were winning. Okay,
Yeah,
I've been an LA Kings fan since the time they were in the shit.
Yeah? Yeah, oh, you mean the time that Gretzky came on board? Was that the shit you're talking about?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Minus my Gretzky jersey. Actually, I got two of them.
Oh, well.
So anyways, we went to the Kings game, and I got free tickets. Of course, they were way up in the shit seats. Just a tip for anybody out there, if you're ever sitting up in the nosebleeds at a sporting event, go on StubHub right when you get to the venue and look for really good seats because they're going to be available. And then just move your ass down there. And that's what we did. Problem is, I went with Brandon, who has to be his Homer Simpson Brandon self, because as soon as we sat down there, you were like, hey, these are way better seats than the ones we had way up there in the 300 level.
All right, but was I wrong?
No, but you were announcing that these people are idiots for paying like $400 for those seats and how we paid nothing. And all it takes is for one person to be like, hey, you see those guys down there? They didn't pay for those seats. And the usher would be like, oh, you mean Gretzky and McSorley down there? They could tell right away. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we could just hoof it to another section before they get their fat asses up. That's the nice thing is that most of those people are fatter than I was. So,
yeah, well, it's not football, Brandon. Hockey fans, I think, are in better shape than football fans.
Yeah.
By a wide margin.
Yeah. This guy.
All right, there's my Brandon joke.
Yeah. It's like
chlamydia. That's kind of clever. Oh, it's like chlamydia? Let's hear it.
No. Your joke. My jokes are like chlamydia. You just, before you know it, you're telling them.
Anyways.
I gave you the...
Not only did he announce that we were the riffraff that flutter down into their bougie section.
Again, not wrong.
But he also had his piggy comments about the ice girls, the ladies who come out and shovel the ice between the periods. They kind of skate along in, nice little outfits, plowing the ice. And Brandon had some dumb joke about it. I'm not going to repeat it because I'm not going to give him any type of credit.
Oh, well, luckily, I'm right here to tell you exactly what it was. I responded, I wouldn't mind plowing them.
See?
Yes.
And now, the worst part isn't that he just said it offhandedly to me. He announced it in front of everybody with all the children going, "What's plowing mean?"
Well, right, but if I didn't say it loud enough, then the girls on the ice couldn't hear me.
Oh, yeah, you got to swipe right somehow, huh, buddy?
As close as I'm getting. So you had a show at the Comedy Store last week. How'd that go for you, bud?
Oh, it was pretty good. It was with Matt Rife's show, Low Key Upset.
And what were you low-key upset about?
Oh, all kinds of shit. I'm not going to divulge it on the podcast. You got to come out and see it in person.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, which you didn't do because you're a fucking working man.
What an asshole I am, huh? Trying to make a paycheck and not be homeless in L.A.
Fucking piece of shit. But yeah, it's an interesting event because how it works, the comics go up on stage, they do their set, and then after the host, Matt and Paul, they go up and they sort of riff with you a little bit, and it's more of a roasty riff. It was awesome. The problem is we were going off about white trashiness, inventing this character while we're riffing. We came up with this kid named Cody who has a rat tail and long, dirty nails.
What was he from Kentucky?
No, he was just American.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. And then where did Cody go on his journeys?
Well, that was the end of it because the crowd kind of shut that down.
Why'd they shut it down?
Well, they weren't booing, but they were going, oh, poor Cody. It's like, fuck, Cody's not real. He doesn't exist.
Right.
But they were offended because we were mean to Cody, who, again, isn't fucking real.
Look, I'll be honest, man. Like, if that's how we're still doing shit in 2019, I can't say I have a whole lot of hope for 2020 as far as humor goes.
I don't think humor is going to change. I think the secondhand audience is going to change. Do you know what I mean by that?
No.
So the audiences that go to comedy clubs and pay money to see a comedian, some of them might not know what they're getting into and get offended by that.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. No one fucking cares. But it's the secondhand audience, meaning, hey, I saw this comedian, here's what he was like. And then those people that hear about it are the ones getting offended and trying to get them in trouble, for lack of a better word.
Gotcha. Okay. So what about guys like, say, Anthony Jeselnik?
That's a...
Whom I love, by the way. I should.
Yeah, he's great. It's that he's sort of always been that way. You kind of know what you're getting into when you go to an Anthony Jeselnik show.
Sure.
And those that don't, that's part of the fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's nothing new, though. I mean, it comes around every couple decades or so. Take Married with Children, for example.
Ooh,
so
going way back.
Going way back. So, yeah, back in the early 90s, like when they were mid-stride, they were starting to become real popular. There was this woman in Michigan started this campaign against the show talking about the degeneracy and the immoral nature of it, blah, 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 and almost got the show canceled. So what do? Their response is to take that and turn it into an episode. So it ended up being like Kelly, she was talking to this guy, giving him details about her family. Didn't realize the guy was a TV producer. And so next thing you know, they turn on this TV show and it's exactly them. It's like different actors, obviously, but like pretty much the same type of clothes they would wear, same house and all that.
As the Bundys?
As the Bundys, yeah. As like Peas in a Pod was the name of the show within a show. And they all thought they were going to be rich, and then it got canceled after like the first episode. And then they asked why. At the end of the episode, well, there's some woman in Michigan who didn't like it. So they canceled the show within the show, But it faced a lot of scrutiny at the time. Now looking back at that, compared to like what's considered normal today as far as humor, Married with Children was pretty tame.
Right, and even at that exact same time, people were upset about The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Bart Simpson is a bad influence on young people, and he's teaching kids to put their shoes too close to the door.
Yeah.
That was what my mom said one time. Who the fuck told you to put your shoes this? Did Bart do it? Was it Bart Simpson?
Did she?
And
use
even
the
when I
word
was a
fuck?
kid, I was like, that's not that's a false equivalency.
Yeah, but at the same time, that was like, Tipper Gore in between her episodes of like trying to get Judas Priest, labeled, menace to society as well.
Oh my God. And so it's not that we've come so far, we've just changed. And for some reason it's targeted at humor. Even though TV shows like that, it's done in the name of humor. It wasn't just that. It was music.
Yeah.
It was, like you said, Judas Priest,
And Slayer, all that in the 80s.
all those metal bands, Kiss, Knights in Satan's Service, I think they said it stood for.
Then you get into the 90s, and then you got The Simpsons and Married with Children, and then now...
And Green Day. People were really against them. Someone wrote Billy Joe Armstrong a strongly worded letter about his lyrics, and he got so pissed off about it that he wrote a song about breaking her teeth or some shit. I don't remember the exact lyrics, but it was very angry. It was on the Nimrod album, and that was his response. Fuck you. I'm going to kill you.
Sure, good.
It's like, oh, wow.
Oh, I thought you were like talking about the people angry up in like Berkeley and all that, about the fact, you sold out, man.
Well, there's always going to be those people. They did sell out. I mean, whatever. But I happen to like their evolution. I've always liked Green Day.
Yeah.
And that's kind of Jesselnick's response. I mean, not fuck you, I'm going to break your teeth, but he's just, whatever. I don't care. They're like, oh, you fucked dead babies. And he's like, yep.
Yeah, like his response is just go on doing what he's always been doing. Like,
I think
doesn't pay him any credence.
That's a big part of it, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it has to be.
It's just don't respond or respond sarcastically.
Yeah.
It's the second you show any type of remorse, even if you are remorseful, you can't do that if you're an entertainer. I'm not going to say comedian because it extends to all forms of, for lack of a better word, art.
Yeah.
Any creative medium. If you have to apologize for something, or if somebody feels like you have to apologize for it and you fucking do, you show weakness. And then they're going to just go for the jugular.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the whole cancel culture. Sorry, I almost had a Freudian slip there.
I think that's, at least you didn't say Freudian slip into your mom.
Dave, that's just dirty. Why would I
Opportunity
say anything
lost.
like that? So, Dave, let's play a little game called Let's Guess the Race of the People Offended.
Oh, fuck. See, this is a lot better than your other game of guess the race of the person that cut me off in traffic. But I'll say, people getting offended on behalf of everyone else, that is a white person thing.
Okay, well, since you mentioned it, how about we play Guess the Race of the
No,
person
that
that cut me off in traffic?
Wasn't where I was going with this.
hold
We're not
on.
playing this, Brandon.
Yeah, hold on.
You
All right.
goddamn Trump supporter.
Okay, so they were riding my bumper,
Oh, my God.
and then they swerved over two
Brandon,
lanes.
stop.
Hold on, they swerved over two lanes, and then ended up swerving back, going right next to me, and then tried to merge in my lane, right next to me. Guess the race.
We're not playing this game, but what type of vehicle was it? Now that we're playing.
Oh, it was an SUV.
I'm like I said, I'm not playing this game.
Okay. They didn't use their blinker.
Brandon, stop.
After getting back into their lane, they almost came back
Brandon.
to hit me again. Who was it?
Brandon, I'm not answering this.
It was a white woman in a base model SUV. You're the racist for thinking it was somebody else.
Oh my God, no, that's no. I wasn't even playing.
Yeah, him and Ha. That's all I can hear.
God damn it, Brandon. We said we're not doing your stupid segment about guess the race. You fucking right-wing conservative lunatic piece of shit.
Oh yeah, Mr. Progressive Libtard over there. Sitting there. Playing the game. Oh, yeah.
I didn't play the game. I didn't guess a single race. I asked for a detail. If you would have told me SUV ahead of time, I might have guessed white.
Yeah, white people appropriate everything these days, including bad driving.
Brandon.
What? No, I'm just saying, like, it's nothing new, but, like, white people take on everything, from music to entertainment to, comedy in some cases, and they try to make it their own so they can market and sell it, That's nothing new.
Right. Including being offended on behalf of everybody else.
Oh.
If you're
Yeah. Yeah, that one is fairly new, actually.
That's white privilege.
Yeah,
Is electing yourself the one to get offended on behalf of everyone else. When you could be I'm going to use comedy as an example, just sort of my home field.
sure.
But you can get a white comic in a black audience telling, here's the difference between black people and white people jokes.
Yeah,
Not intended to be racist, intended to be observational and humorous and done out of love.
sure.
That's the trick.
Yeah,
Is you got to do it out of respect and love. They fucking love it. The audience could be dying of laughter.
yeah.
You get one white person in there. Well, what the fuck?
How
I'm offended. It's like, what?
dare you?
If you're offended and everybody else is not, you are appropriating their plight and their struggles so that you could be the one acknowledged for being the one to say, that is not what you should do.
Yeah, and that's a pretty solid analogy too, because if you get like a 5,000 seat theater, where a comedian's going, and you have that one white person who's pissed off about whatever's going on stage, that's probably a pretty accurate representation about like how the rest of America per capita, percentage wise, I guess, would roll out into that feelings too. It's always a small minority that want to voice their opinions louder than everyone else and tell you how much, this disproportionately affects X race and how you should feel bad for it if you're a white person and enjoy it.
Right. See, another guy that sort of gets a pass mostly because he's dead now is Ralphie May. Every couple of years, there's this video of him performing for a black audience where he's just destroying. And he's being racist as fuck. But no one really complains about it.
He's being racist in a friendly way, not like a neo-Nazi, like, I hate all black people or all Jews type of way. But, yeah, it's friendly racism. And again, and that's when you watch the audience's reaction to the jokes he's telling, like, you can tell, like you said, that, like, loving, supporting way, and it's like, I'm not being mean about this, I'm just making jokes.
But here's how we do shit, and here's how you do shit, and it's different, and therefore it's funny. It's not saying I'm better than you are.
Right, exactly. Like, yeah, because then he'll follow that up with 5 minutes of fat jokes. He had no problem making fun of himself.
Right.
Like
it would be like if someone cloned me and then we made a podcast together. How fucking boring would that be? Any two people.
Well, I could fucking tell you how boring it'd be if you had 2 days on
fuck
one
you.
podcast. What? Hey, I'm sorry.
No one asked Brandon anything.
Sorry, it's booze. It's booze. I love you, Dave.
Ah.
Kind of. Anyhow,
all right, let's just get into the hypothetical situation. We had a little bit of a better response this time. Not a single turd in a toilet. Thank you, internet, for that.
appreciate it.
So this one comes from Gina. that was bad. That was from the 40-year-old virgin, but I read that as Gina. So anyways, Gina says, Dave and Brandon are stranded on an island with 100 people. Everyone is looking to the two of you to run things. How would you, with different personality and political styles, run things? Not half bad.
No, not better than last week.
So if we were on an island and there's 100 people, number one, if they're looking to the two of us,
Yeah.
I would be in charge and you would be my sidekick. Depending on the week, you might be the assistant.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Well, we've already established that you're boring, so yeah, you should probably be in charge just based on that alone. But all right, Mr. Leader, I'm your assistant. What orders do you want me to carry out?
Well, you got to make sure that everybody's pulling their fair share. Everybody does equal amounts of work. Everyone gets equal amounts of benefit to start.
I'm sorry, Dave. Are you a Republican here? Is that what I'm hearing from across the table?
Oh, I was worried you were going to call me a communist. If we're on a stranded island, I would say that's more socialism. Everyone does their fair share. Everyone puts in the same amount of work. Everyone gets the same amount of benefits. Are you saying that's a Republican belief?
Yeah, meritocracy, buddy.
No, dude, that is a socialist belief. That's even pushing communism.
It's actually pushing communism because our fat asses are in charge.
Well, I mean, that's the other part. This is a hypothetical. No one would put us in charge. We'd be the first ones to figure out how to ferment the fruit into alcohol. And they'd be like, what are you doing? That's for us to eat. And we'd be like, well, everything's going to be fat because we drink.
Okay, which reminds me. So my first order of business, and we have to figure out which ones we're going to cannibalize first.
You're just going right for that.
Well, we're on an island. Do we have any other food available other than
Well, we don't know. What if there's boar? There could be some boar.
Okay, well, we send the people out to find the boar. Either A, we get the boar, or B, the boar kills the people and we eat the people. Problem solved.
Not if the boars eat the people.
Oh, God damn it. Yeah.
So I would advise against cannibalism. That's why I would be in charge and not you. Because
Okay.
I feel like if there's 100 people, they're gonna vote for who they want out of the two of us. And if you're proposing cannibalism, you're gonna have your what's Trump's approval rating right now? 41%. You're gonna have 41%
Some
of the people.
61%.
No, it's not. No, not even close. Not even touching 60. No, get over it, Brandon. He's at like 41 to 43. And that's the percentage of people you're going to have voting for you based on your cannibalistic platform.
It's actually about 43 going up after the impeachment hearings are over. It's going to be about like 50. Anyhow, I'm sorry. Continue on, Dave.
Congratulations. He might have slightly fewer people that support him than oppose him. Because his, what's the word? Disapproval? His disapproval rating is way over 50. And always has been.
Yeah, it's something like that. Not way over, but yeah. No,
it's over. It's like significantly over.
Oh, yeah.
It's way over his approval rating.
Yeah, I'll be laughing about this conversation, in January of 2021.
So anyways, that's why people are going to want me in charge. Because if you're going to go up there talking about cannibalizing the weak, they're not. The weak people are going to vote for me. Oh, damn it. That sounds democratic. What I'm trying to say
is
that I'm going to be in charge.
Okay. And get us all killed. Cool.
Well, no, because I'm not going to wage war against the other islands.
Those other islands had it coming, man. They were there.
They run things slightly different. We should go after those islands.
Yeah.
Not pool our resources together.
Yeah, those other islands have more fruit that can be fermented for alcohol.
So we have to go and take it from them, right, Brandon?
Basically,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, we're in agreement. Yeah.
Now, no, that's not what I'm saying. Hey, don't do the thing that I do to you to me. Taste of me own medicine. We're not doing that.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's your plan then?
My plan is to figure out a rescue. We're gonna have a rescue mission and we're gonna have a survival mission. We're gonna figure out exactly how we're gonna last that long and how to get rescued, just like they did on Lost.
Or the TV show 100.
I've never seen that one.
Me either. Just another.
Well, then don't fucking bring it up. But Lost, we're gonna do exactly that. I've seen it. I've seen the whole thing. It was on ABC, and we're gonna have a mission where people go out and try to find other islands, try and find somebody to rescue us. We're gonna have a lot of fucking.
Not
you know what? This desert island doesn't sound so bad. Not me and you. No.
Yeah, no. Sicko.
We're not in prison.
So.
Anyways, I would get people would vote for me and not you.
Okay, so.
But wait, do we even put up a vote? Because that wasn't specified. They just said that the people are already looking towards us. So I'm assuming that they're like, okay, you two are. Well, not the most handsome, but you two are the most. Well, not the most logical. Well, you two are the. I don't know why they would ever pick us in a million years. Maybe they're a bunch of like 9-year-olds.
Looked at us as the leaders. We're on an island full of fucking idiots in the first place.
So we're basically fucked. Is it? So it's just like America.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Ferment that fruit and get that alcohol and drink ourselves stupid till we die.
So we're basically just Kentucky. So today I took an Uber and. He told me a pretty good story about his own shitty driving.
Okay, what was that?
He said that because he was driving very aggressively, and I actually complimented him on that because that's the only way you're going to get around in LA.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, well one time there was a dude in the back seat, and I forgot he was there.
All right.
He's like, I had just come home from barbecue or whatever the shit. He wasn't drunk or anything, but he's like, I had just come home from this family thing, and I decided to drive after. I picked up this dude. Forgot he was back there, and I just started heading home and driving the way I normally do, which is going to be more aggressive than if you're chauffeuring someone around. And the guy in the back seat was like, hey, man, that's my ex. What the fuck are you doing? And he's like, oh, shit, I'm sorry. I forgot you were back there. And he's like, but the whole time, I was driving like a complete jackass, and I was even talking to myself. You know the way that people do.
Yeah.
He's like, I was just, he's like, I couldn't recite back what I was saying, but I was mumbling something along to myself, and this guy had to sit back there and listen to this, watching me blow through his exit. And I said, so what happened? And he's like, the dude said, stop the car and let me out. And the dude complained to Uber, and they sent him a warning email type of thing, Hey, don't be driving like that. Don't be talking to yourself when you're driving people around.
Yeah.
But just when I went to the Comedy Store last week, I took an Uber, and the guy was in his 50s, and he's kind of doing this like on his, when we were on the actual freeway, he's doing a vroom 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 thing on his, like he's making that noise with his mouth while he's holding the steering wheel, pretending it's a motorcycle. So whenever he'd speed up, he'd go and do the throttle motion on the steering wheel. And I'm watching this going, what the fuck? But I also didn't want to say anything because I was already kind of running a little bit late, and he was driving very aggressively, so we were going to get there a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
So that made me ask the internet for their crazy rideshare story, and mostly stupid answers, of course. You can never trust the internet for anything. But this one guy named Tim, he goes by Tim OSU2. He says, I used to drive. 2:36 a.m. I head to a bar, and I see a guy I'm about to pick up. He's got a bloody face. He's evidently messed up. Ends up getting in my back seat by crawling in, laying on it like a dog. He goes on to tell me that he found his roommate / best friend banging the shit out of his fiance in the kitchen when he got home early from work. His face was bloody because he got destroyed in a fight with a guy at a bar because he was getting made fun of for sobbing. I get to his apartment. I ask if he needs help getting in the car. And he says, nah, man, I'm great. He immediately face plants hard on the ice. His face is the bloodiest mess I have ever seen. Teeth missing, purple and red. I get out and help him up, try and walk him up to his apartment. It's like a baby giraffe. The man has no limbs at this point. He lights up a cig after dropping 2 of them. Mid stumbled to make things better. I get to his apartment after a solid 50 minutes, and the dude throws his wallet on the ground and says, hey, man, take whatever's there. I look in, and I see a condom and a $10 bill. Which one do you think I took?
Oh, a $10 bill. I buy a lot of condoms.
The guy says the condom. And then I walked in and fucked his fiance. It's all true except the very last part.
Shit.
All right, thanks for the answer, Tim. So my absolute horror story was with Uber coming back from Hollywood.
All right.
This is a couple years ago. And so I'm going from Hollywood to Reseda. And the guy that picks me up, he's like a little standoffish, but not a jerk. I wasn't drunk. That's the thing. So I get in the car and he's just like, oh, make sure you don't mess anything up. Okay.
Yeah.
We drive home. He's listening to classic rock, which is rare in Uber. They usually listen to garbage.
Yeah.
And that's a far drive. It's like a half an hour drive, let's say. And I get home. Everything's fine. The next morning, I get a notification that I was charged $80 for a cleanup fee.
What for?
Why? I email them, and I'm like, what for? And they're like, oh, the driver says that you urinated in his back seat.
Dude,
I was
why did you piss in his back?
I didn't.
Oh.
I most certainly, I was like, no, this is a mistake. You meant that for somebody else. I did not piss in the back seat of this guy's car. Yeah. And they sent me a picture that he sent them saying it was me. Now, here's the thing. It was a very small stream that started at the very top of the back seat. So around where the headrest is.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant like they sent a picture with you and you're like blitzed out in your face and you got your hog out taking a whiz on his back seat.
But no. To clarify, it was a picture of the aftermath, the quote-unquote aftermath.
Okay.
And it's at the stream of quote-unquote urine was starting at the very top of the seat and goes about halfway down and then stops. And I just replied, I said, I did not do that. I didn't piss in his car. And even if I did, like, in order to do that, I'd have to pull my pants down, position my dick at the top of the seat, and then let out about 20 millimeters of urine and then stop it dead and be like, sup? I didn't do that.
Well, good thing the guy didn't have his fiance in the back seat.
Well, that's my Uber horror story. As tame as it may be, I got my money back. Everything was fine after that.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what you could have taken an Uber to was this upcoming Friday, the 13th, at the Regent in Los Angeles, California. As I Lay Dying is going to be playing.
Shout out to them, whoever the fuck they are. Oh, like 2006 Screamo band?
Well, yeah, kind of, sort of, something like that.
Why the fuck would I go and see them?
Well, as far as bands with the term die or dying in the name goes, this one's a little different in the sense that the lead singer, Tim Lambesis, actually hired a hitman to take out his wife.
Jesus.
And yeah.
And you just knew his name, ready to go. Is that your hero or something? You got a poster of him on the wall with a hole cut out on his mouth and a hole drilled in the wall behind it.
I kind of have this Rain Man thing where I remember random facts, and it happened to just be that, like, this dude, he got convicted in 2014 on he was supposed to serve 6 years felony conviction, but he got out in 2.5 years. Huh?
For drugs?
No, for trying to have his wife killed.
What?
No, he hired a hitman to kill his wife. And
the Screamo band dude?
yes.
Was he like a little wiener dude?
No. He's big and jacked. Like, if he wanted to, he could have killed her himself. Not that I'm endorsing that, but he could have if he wanted to.
No, that's that's not the point I'm making. It's like, why would he want his wife killed? Like, do you know who else did that? Was the drummer of AC/DC. It wasn't his wife, but he also hired a hitman.
For who?
From, I don't know, some guy that pissed him off. Might have been a dude who looked at him wrong. But he also, the drummer of AC, like the long time, I don't know his name. I'm not you, but he hired a hitman also to kill somebody.
Well, hey, if you got AC/DC money for one, but B, you piss off a member of the band and someone hires a hitman to kill you, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. You shouldn't have fucked with AC/DC. Rock and roll, man.
But that's the thing. Like you said, he's got AC/DC money. You'd think you'd have enough of it to hire someone that'll keep their mouth shut. As I Lay Dying, whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah,
I totally get. You got some cash, but you don't have enough cash to make sure everybody keeps their mouth shut. But yeah, I'm not going to that fucking concert. I'm not gonna go and support that motherfucker. Fuck him.
Well, there's going to be other people there. You wouldn't be the only degenerate.
I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about that guy. I'm not supporting that band. I'm not supporting a potential spouse murderer. Fuck him.
Dave, I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to marry you.
Well, I'm going to have to miss out on that band. Don't you have a band that you once upon a time missed?
Don't you?
You know exactly where I'm going with this? Brandon missed out on a band.
You cocksucker. Yeah, Motorhead. Yeah. You son of a bitch. No, yeah, let me tell you this story. All I wanted to ever see was Motorhead. It's all I wanted in life. If I could have seen that, I could have died right then. I would have been fucking happy. So I happened to go to the Gigantour in Denver back in, I don't know when the fuck it was, 2011, 2012, something like that. And it wasn't until I was already at the concert with Kuna Coil open, Volbeat open, and Volbeat comes on and says, hey, Motorhead isn't going to be here tonight. Lemmy has a fucking throat infection.
The fucking band announced that Motorhead's not going to be there?
Yeah, fucking Volbeat announced that Motorhead was not going to be there. Yeah, the fucking man who has a fucking diet of Jack and Cokes and cigarettes somehow managed to get a throat infection. Like once every 5 years this happens.
He lived pretty long for a guy who lived that lifestyle.
No, absolutely. He didn't look like he was in his 70s when he fucking died. But so we found out that, like, me and the two people I was there with found out that Motorhead wasn't going to play. We looked at each other and like, well, you guys want to hang out? And they're like, oh, fuck, let's get the fuck out of here. So, like, we left before Megadeth even took the fucking stage.
So wait, Megadeth was going to be playing, and you guys left the festival that you were at.
Yeah.
You missed the headlining band. You didn't even want to just stick around and watch from the side.
No, Motorhead was a co-headliner, mind you.
Okay, but still, Megadeth you're there anyway.
I like their music. I'll listen to it on occasion. Not a huge fan. I'll fucking admit that. I'm not a huge fan. I had no fucking desire to see Megadeth. I wanted to see goddamn Motorhead.
Did you leave because you were mad?
Well, the band that I went there to see wasn't going to be playing, so yeah.
That's what I'm asking,
Jesus Christ could have been coming on after Motorhead, and I left because the actual Jesus Christ wasn't there.
You know, I got to see Motorhead.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. And I think I told you this already. This was at the Burton Cummings Theater in Winnipeg in 2005. And I told you who was opening for them. One of the 5 opening bands. They had a whole shit ton of them.
Yeah, you happen to fucking mention that.
Another favorite band.
Yeah, fucking 3 Inches of Blood out of Vancouver, Canada. For the second week in a row, shout out to my West Coast Canadians.
That's right. Yeah, they were playing at the Burt. I got to see 3 Inches of Blood. Never heard of them before. I thought the singer kind of sounded like a witch mixed with Judas Priest. They were cool.
That's not an inaccurate description.
Yeah, and then Motorhead came on. Lemmy was his same old Lemmy self. It was I gotta say, it was a life-changing experience. I wish you could have seen them, but you're Brandon, so.
Yeah, hey, feel free to fuck yourself with a rusty barbed wire dildo, you son of a bitch. But I'll tell you what though, like that's I did get lucky in a couple other senses. So there were bands that I did get to see that I was happy I got to see before they died. So I got to see Typo Negative about like a year before Peter Steele died. I got to see Heaven and Hell like a year and a half before Dio got stomach cancer.
Are these all metal bands?
Have you not heard of Ronnie James Dio?
No, I have.
Have you heard of Heaven and
I'm
Hell?
asking, are all you going to do is list metal bands?
Well, the only concerts I've fucking been to other than like Randy Travis, all he does is get drunk and get into fights with cops in Texas.
Nothing wrong with that.
Fuck yeah, gets thrown in the back of cop cars naked. There's a video. Go look it online.
So is 3 Inches of Blood done or something?
Yeah, dude, they fucking like broke up. They did their final show a few years ago, and they did like back-to-back shows in like November, I think, in Vancouver. And shout out to 3 Inches of Blood. If you ever wanted to get back together, do a reunion tour, old fat Brandon here would certainly come out to support you in Los Angeles.
Yeah, he takes up like 3 seats. It's like an airplane. They make him buy multiple tickets.
Oh yeah, so you guaranteed got 3 seats sold right now.
See, we should have called this podcast 2 fat guys calling each other fat. The pot belly calling the kettle fat.
That's a way better name than the Valley Boys.
No doubt. But yeah, 3 Inches of Blood came through Winnipeg all the fucking time because it's in the middle of nowhere. It doesn't matter how big of a band you are. If you're touring through Canada, you're gonna stop in Winnipeg.
Sure.
And they always played at this place called the Albert, which I don't know if it's still up. I haven't kept up with it. It's always one of those things where is the Albert getting sold? Is the Albert closing down? Whatever. Every single show I've been to, I used to play in bands, and we performed there a few times. And no matter what, every time I've been in there, it's always been a hilarious experience. One time there was a urinal that was out of order, but instead of putting a sign up, somebody removed it and it was on the floor. And then there was a hole in the wall, and everybody was peeing in the hole in the wall as if it was a urinal. And there was always blood on the ceiling. That's the Albert.
Well, what's the craziest thing you've seen at the Albert, though? Or that you know about happening at the Albert?
Oh, God. There was a murder. There was a very, like, one of the worst murders that ever happened in Winnipeg. And that's kind of including...
While your band played?
No. Well, no, nothing ever happened with when we played. At Dick's Dillon's, not going to shout out to that. You met him, Dick Rivers.
Oh yeah.
That was a different thing.
What a dick.
Yeah, no, he's all right, but he's also a dick. His name isn't even Dick. It's Richard. His name is Brian. Everybody just called him Dick. That his name is now Dick Rivers.
Sounds accurate.
Shout out to that guy. He owes me $300 because he refused to pay my band on Remembrance Day because he couldn't charge the soldiers door fee. So I said, "Oh, that's nice of you to just pay the band out of pocket." And he's like, "Well, I'm not paying you either. I got 300 soldiers in here all getting drunk." Whatever. Anyways, the Albert had a very bad murder there, and it's one of the worst in Winnipeg history, including the Greyhound beheading, which didn't technically happen in Winnipeg. That was in, I believe, Portage-la-Prairie, which is outside of Winnipeg.
It was like 10 miles away, I think, outside of Winnipeg.
A little bit more than that, but that's kind of, Winnipeg sort of adopted that as a Winnipeg murder. But this one was in a hotel room there. There was this dude, this is like, I don't know, early mid-2000s. He killed somebody in the room there, and he was apparently stabbed, beheaded, castrated, dismembered, and disemboweled in a hotel room there.
Why did you do that to him, Dave?
I didn't do it. The guy who did it is in jail, and he's trying to appeal. I didn't do any of that. The worst thing I did was I peed in a hole that was punched in the wall there. Calm down. Here's the thing: the guy is trying to appeal those hearings, and of course, tell him to go fuck himself. Now, here's the really creepy and gross part of that. So
we haven't reached the creepy
oh,
and
no.
gross part now.
No.
Okay.
We reached the grisly part, but
Okay.
where things get fucked up is his victim. He removed all of his organs, and they never found any of them. And that's reported by the CBC. That's not like an urban legend. The dude did all that shit to him, and they haven't found any of his organs. No one knows where his organs went.
So how long did it take the authorities to find out that this happened, or to like find the suspect?
Oh, I don't know any of that. I just know that they caught the guy right away, and he is in prison, thank God. But that's kind of the story of the Albert. Anyways, that's where 3 Inches of Blood always played.
Well, it's not an inaccurate name now, at least at one of the places they played.
No doubt, except for that would be like 300 Inches of Blood. No offense to the victims. This is a family podcast, Brandon. I don't know why you said that.
You know goddamn well why I said that.
Yeah, I'm looking this up. So, yeah, he's trying to appeal all this based on errors made by the trial judge, including how jurors were instructed to consider the evidence.
Dude, that's
Like-
but he may not be wrong, which is fucking nuts.
Yeah, but you're not going to get out on a technicality. Not when you've disemboweled someone and they can't even find his fucking organs anyways.
Speaking of Dick Rivers, he said that he's going to be out in Palm Springs January 3rd through 8th. And just because we're us, he might be able to make a special appearance down here in L.A. and slime up the streets for a day or two.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. He sent me a message. I didn't even open it.
I don't know what that says, and I'll reply, but you won't. But you've known him longer, so I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, fuck that guy. I will say this about him.
Yes.
He is a lot like Howard Stern before Howard Stern, and him and I'm not going to get into it, but we're looking at collaborating on a project together, and it's such an amazing story that I'm kind of going along with it just to have people shut it down, and maybe well, that's how it is when you're a screenwriter. Most of your shit gets shut down, but occasionally something gets bought.
Yeah.
And in my case, whenever I sell something, the longest I've gone before it's been shelved is 48 hours.
So
but I still get paid.
So is being a screenwriter, being a sperm in the sack of a dude who had a vasectomy, but they tell you that even like with a vasectomy, there's still like a 0.06% chance that like, one of the swimmers can get through and knock the broad up. And like, that's what this is.
It's more like you're a child. It's more like you've already made it through.
Okay.
And you've been born.
Okay.
But you had crackhead parents.
While now you're in the womb.
Now, yeah, exactly. And now you're in an orphanage.
Yeah.
And all the people coming through are like, we're looking for the same thing that we've already had for 20 years. And you're like, I'm my own original thing. And they're like, oh, no. And then before you know it, you turn 18. And you're just thrown into the streets. You're like, why did I think of Jurassic Park 17? Oh. Yeah, that's what being a screenwriter is like.
All right, fair enough.
Man, if you're a writer or you want to be, the best thing to watch is The Simpsons.
Like, even now?
Yeah. Well, the last few years, it's gotten better. Everybody likes to shit on new episodes of The Simpsons, but they've been doing that for like 15 years. The last 6 years have been very solid on The Simpsons, but nobody gives that credit. But if you want to watch, I'm not going to say the platform, but there's this brand new platform, a streaming platform that everybody's on, including me, and I've been watching it nonstop ever since it came out, that has The Simpsons. It's Disney Plus. I've been watching old Simpsons, and I'm like, my God, this is the best television that's ever been written, ever been produced. Every single square inch of it is just fucking perfect. And I used to think it was between The Simpsons, between seasons 3 and 6, a little bit season 7, a little bit season 2, a little bit season 8, whatever. I'm into season 8, and I'm like, this is. I remember when it came out when I was a kid, and I appreciated it then. I appreciate it as I watched it throughout my teenage years as an adult.
Yeah.
Man, I used to buy them on DVD when they first started coming out as a teenager.
Jesus.
I remember when.
How much did those cost you? Just out of
like
curiosity?
$50 in
Jesus
Canada.
Christ.
Yeah, dude. And
Fuck shit.
I heard, dude. So when I was a little kid,
Yeah.
like age 10, there was we had a video cassette that we had recorded of maybe 6 Simpsons episodes when they had a marathon type thing.
Yeah.
And we paused it during the commercials, you know. So we had 6 Simpsons episodes that we could just watch continuously with no commercials. And they were from the early seasons. Like, even, it was when I was 10. They had a marathon, whatever. So when I was, you know, in my late teens, they started releasing them on DVD.
All right.
And they started from the beginning. In whatever, let's say 2002 or 2003, they released season 1. And I went out and fucking bought it.
Well, and that would make sense because, like, you know, 50 Canadian would be about 35 US, you know, give or take.
Yeah, that's right, but that's still going back to the early 2000s, so that would be like what, $60-$70 now. I don't actually know the inflation rate.
No, it might
Wouldn't
be
be
like
that
50
much.
American now, but either way.
Right.
Yeah, and like that's the thing. Like I remember The Simpsons growing up in the 90s and shit, you know, watching those.
That was the shit.
Yeah, like getting through the first like 10 seasons and all that, and you know, and then I got away from it, but then the movie came out and I watched the movie. I'm like, oh, the fucking movie's great, you know, and I would watch some of the newer episodes here and there, including the Family Guy crossover. I'm like, that's pretty cool too. But
that's very tongue in cheek what they're doing there, and they've been that way for a long time. But if you're Brandon spilled his alcohol just now, all right, it's no big deal. It's just my fucking dining room floor, you piece of shit, and my nice dining room tablecloth. Yeah. It's red. Yeah. Brandon's the type of guy that when you know he's coming over, you got to bust out the barbecue silverware, just plastic knives and forks and paper plates. Anything from the dollar store will do. He's what we call in Canada a dumpster pig.
Isn't that Canadian's national animal, Dave?
No, you can't judge the whole country based on me.
Well, thank God for that. Yeah.
So, anyways, back to The Simpsons and my boner for them.
Yes.
It's like I said, I'm watching the earlier seasons where that's where you got to start. If you want to be a screenwriter, start with that shit. It's still good. This hate that they're getting from from 5 years ago to 15 years before that. If you're gonna hate on that, whatever. You don't get it. You don't like it. That's your opinion.
Right. Kind of like how, after Nickelback released Rockstar.
No.
Like, there's no way that you can top Rockstar.
No.
And so everything
I'm
they
sorry,
release
sir.
is good.
No.
Everything they release is
Stop
good.
talking. You are not talking anymore.
I'm sorry.
There is no Nickelback with The Simpsons. You cannot say The Simpsons and Nickelback in the same sentence.
Well, right, because Nickelback is better. I get that, but, you know.
Sir, you do not speak that way in my house.
I'm sorry, sir.
You're in my house right now, and you are saying that Nickelback is better than The Simpsons?
Well, I mean everything.
Especially the old Simpsons, which we're trying to talk about right now, but you're talking about Nickelback? The shame of Canada? The pride of Simpsons writers had a longtime writer and producer from Manitoba, Tim Long. Fucking genius, dude.
How long did he last?
How long did he last with The Simpsons? He's still there.
Oh, is he?
He's been with them for a long time. A lot of the guys that were with them way back in the day are still there. We got Mike Scully, fucking genius.
Yeah,
he wrote a whole shit ton of great episodes. He's produced. Fantastic writer, also hilarious dude, by the way, and very humble. Okay. Very nice guy. Not to get on his dick here. Right. David Silverman. Yeah. Same thing. Long-time producer. Great fucking hilarious musician. He plays the tuba.
Okay.
Michael Price.
Yes.
You might know him now. He's produced a whole shit ton of shit in conjunction with The Simpsons. He's made F is for Family.
Yes,
That's kind of a big fucking dick. Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yes.
You can't
yes.
even get a meeting with Netflix if you're an A-list celebrity right now
Jesus Christ.
to pitch a show. Well, maybe it's just they have a no Dave Weasel rule. Who else we got?
Hey, I'll tell you. Let me name off my favorite Simpsons writer, Mr. Conan O'Brien.
That's right.
Who wrote the monorail episode?
That's right. He's a fucking genius. I think it might have been that episode. It started off with there's garbage everywhere, and a moose was eating out of the garbage, which made me fucking laugh.
Yeah, made you feel right back home in Manitoba, didn't it, buddy?
Yeah, exactly, with Tim Long.
Yeah. Conan O'Brien, another Mick.
But yeah, you want to get another what? Brandon,
Patty.
We don't say
donkey.
slurs.
It's shit. Sorry.
We don't say slurs against white people either.
Potato sucking Irishman. God, shit. I'm sorry. Maybe we should just move on.
All right, so it's Tuesday night. Are you missing out on some bullshit wrestling WWF thing?
No. I'll have you know that, the stupid bullshit WWF thing is Monday and Friday nights now because they apparently hired idiots to write for them. They didn't hire them.
So you acknowledge that there's writers?
Yeah. There never used to be, though. Like, it used to be Vince McMahon and, like, 2 or 3 other dudes. They would write the fucking show, and then, like, they would give the wrestlers talking points. Like, here, go say this. Like, go hit on these 3 things.
But you acknowledge that there's writers, though. It'd be like being into the World Series, but they have a team of writers who determine how it's going to finish.
Right, yeah. Here's the thing with the wrestling that everybody wants to talk shit about. They still have the athletic aptitude that is required of any sport, right? They still go out and have to perform athletic maneuvers in front of people just the way any other sport does. The only thing that has changed is the ending. It's predetermined. However, whether that's in pro wrestling or it's been done in boxing, which boxing matches have been fixed, you still have to have the athletic prowess to go out there and perform, in whatever endeavor it is.
So it's combining a soap opera with gymnastics.
Sure. Yeah, in a way, it's entertainment, man. Like, and that's the thing. I think you said something along the lines of last week about like how, it's like, oh, why the fuck would people watch this, and shit like that. And it's like, it's entertainment. It's like anything else, whether it's a good movie, whether it's a bad B movie, whether it's a good TV show, whether it's a purposely, shitty TV show, or whether it's a TV show like The Simpsons, where they purposely, make it as sarcastic and ironic as possible. It's entertainment.
Yeah, I get it. Like determining who's going to win the wrestling belt thing is the same as who shot Mr. Burns.
It's the same.
Mr. Burns wasn't actually shot.
Right, exactly. In the same sense that you're trying to like draw people into the whole like story of what's going on. Who shot Mr. Burns?
I get it, except my problem with it is that wrestling is so fucking stupid. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't. Maybe it's just I don't get it. I see,
and a lot of people, like the people who do, they fucking love it. The people who don't. There seems to be no in between.
Your favorite band, Nickelback.
Yeah, like exactly. Like they've sold 50 million albums worldwide, and the fact that people like you are like, I don't fucking get it, and
It's
that's
not just
fine.
me; it's critics. It's everybody.
Let's trust the critics when it comes to what's good or not. According to the critics, Joker was a bad movie. Did you enjoy Joker, Dave?
I fucking loved it.
Okay, so let's throw the fucking critics out of the equation here. Name something that you liked that other people fucking hated, regardless of the critics.
That I like that people hate?
Yes.
I can't think of a single thing.
Really nothing at all.
Maybe being a man and loving cats as much as I do. Everyone calls me a crazy cat lady. Maybe that counts.
Right. I've called you crazy cat lady before too. So yeah,
I think you did on the podcast last week.
Oh yeah, the only other podcast we've done. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I've called you crazy cat lady because you're crazy cat lady. So there's that aspect of it. However,
well, you're a crazy wrestling lady.
I'm crazy wrestling.
You're
lady.
an aspiring pro wrestler yourself. So that's what you want to do. Like, we're talking, if there was a genie, here's a hypothetical, a genie pops out of a bottle and says
Yeah.
you can be anything you want to be,
Yeah.
you would pick pro wrestler. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I would. Here's the thing, and don't get sentimental on me, you son of a bitch, because this is the only time this might happen. If I could go back to my late teens, early 20s, and be a pro wrestler, but still know Dave Weasel, I would.
Well, I got to tell you, it's not too late. There's a lot of dudes in their 30s that get into it. Wasn't there someone even older?
No, yeah, absolutely. Diamond Dallas Page, he was 35. Batista, he was in his mid 30s. There were plenty of guys who got into wrestling, pro wrestling, when they were in their 30s.
See, it's not too late. You've got a look to you. There's no question. You're a marketable guy.
I told you were checking out my body.
It's hard not to. You take up a lot of space, and so everybody's like, "Who is this fucking giant bearded, long-haired fool?"
Yes. Yeah,
But you do have that. I'm not a wrestling promoter. I don't know what they're actually looking for, but I do know that if you were to get into it, you could develop a character. And I'm speaking only as a screenwriter. You
Sure.
yourself are a character, and you have the persona, you have the charisma. You're relatively well liked in certain circles, I guess.
Yeah, the people who don't know me.
But you're also very polarizing, the way that you kind of would need to be if you're going to be a pro wrestler. Like with you,
I'd be a natural heel.
you either love Brandon Collins or you fucking hate him. I personally fucking hate him. But that's what you need to be a pro wrestler. Am I wrong, or am I way out in left field?
No, you're absolutely right. If you have one niche thing that you can draw people to in pro wrestling, you have yourselves a fucking meal ticket. If you can get people to hate you all day long,
Well, that's you.
yeah, yeah, and all I have to do is wake up in the morning, and and that's all.
Your wrestling name should be Swipe Left.
Yeah, well, I guess that means I ain't getting any female valets. So, but yeah,
But
no,
you
you're-
could do it, so why don't you? Why don't you get your ass out there and do what it takes to become a pro wrestler?
Yeah, I am doing what it takes, and yeah, when I get out there, I'm going to soak up all the sweat off my body, and I'm going to throw it to you down in the front row when you're sitting there watching me do it.
That's right. I will be there front and center. When you're a pro wrestler, I'll be there, the one yelling, "This is fake."
I will make sure that I take that cloth and put it down my crotch before I throw it at you.
Oh, God.
And then tell me how fake it is, buddy.
I'll be like, the ball sweat is real, everyone. They really are hustling out there. Also, I have to throw up.
Yeah, man, like, I got to get myself in better shape.
Obviously.
Hey, you son of a fucking bitch. Cop.
You got to get in better shape to walk up the stairs. But actually, you can throw down. I'll give you that. You're pretty quick.
Yeah.
I would not want to mess with you.
Yeah.
I am significantly more cocky when we're out together than I am with anybody else. I'm like, I got a big mouth. It's okay. What are you going to do? Brandon's here.
yeah. As far as a fat guy, I actually move pretty quick. So yeah, I do have that going for me.
Do you remember when I was encouraging you to do this before we were at a bar and I was kind of drunk? I was like, you just got to get out there and wrestle. Like, you just got to fucking throw a bitch down. Everybody looked at me when I said that because they thought I was talking about sex, I guess.
Yeah, we were at the fucking Copper Bucket. I remember that conversation well, as a matter of
God, the
fact.
Copper Bucket.
Yeah, well, yeah, you'll hear some stories about that place coming up.
It's like the Albert of Reseda, of
Yeah.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, that sounds about accurate.
There was a huge hole in the ceiling there, the same way there is at the Albert.
Yeah,
Mind you, I don't think anybody got... someone did get murdered there.
yeah, someone would get murdered there.
But they get shot there.
I don't know if anybody tried to take a piss in
Not
the ceiling.
disemboweled.
No.
No, they have a weird bathroom where the men's room is just one room, one tiny little room with a urinal, a toilet, and a sink, and everybody just pees in all three.
Well, I mean, why wait?
Shout out to the Copper Bucket.
Shout out to the Copper Bucket. Why waste a sink when it's going down to the same place as a toilet and the urinal anyways?
Well, we're getting fairly close to the end here, Brandon. We did it.
That's what she said.
Are you fucking kidding me? Dude, you made it most of the... It's been almost an hour. Jesus Christ. And you're gagging over your own joke, dude. Getting close to the end. That's what makes you gag. Jesus Christ, you're wheezing, buddy. You're going to have to be called Weasel now. Fucking Christ, buddy. You're just so pleased with yourself right now. You're laughing like a goddamn jackal, like a big fat jackal.
The fact that you're more angry at me makes me happier than anything.
I'm not angry. I'm disappointed. Okay.
Now you sound like my parents.
Speaking of which, Dirty Harry's hitting up LA in a couple weeks, or not even, right? In a week?
Yeah. Gonna be here on the 22nd through the 29th.
So Brandon's dad is a very hardcore Trump supporter, and it's hilarious. We're friends on Facebook. He calls me Brother Dave. I like him just fine. But man, he posts some funny shit about how Trump is the greatest president and person. Would you guys want to hear Brandon Collins' father, Dirty Harry, on the podcast with us? Let us know on the internet. We're all over that Valley Boys pod on Twitter. Let us know. We got open DMs, which is always a mistake. That's how you get toilets and turds sent to you. If you want to see Dirty Harry, let us know. I think that's about it, buddy. I think episode 2 is in the can.
I'd give it to her in the can.
I didn't do that on purpose. But I did throw it at the backboard for you, and you just slammed it in.
I'd fucking throw her against the backboard and slam it in.
See what I mean? This is they call you incels.
I would put it in her cell.
God, dude, you're gonna have a heart attack. Listen to that wheeze. You sound worse than I do, and I'm a smoker.
You would love it if I had a heart attack, because then you can top out all your liberal bullshit.
Right. Well, we are the Valley Boys.
We are.
Signing out from Reseda, California. I'm
Whoop,
Dave
whoop.
Weasel. That's Brandon Collins.
Yep.
Good night, you motherfuckers.
See you later.